Hello and welcome to another car review. This time we're at the Volvo UK launch of their new V90 and S90 models. I'll take you around the car, show you some of the design features, show you the interior, go over some of the technology that's available as well, and importantly tell you how the car drives. So let's go and take a closer look. So S90 and V90. In Volvo speak, the S90 is their flagship saloon model and the V90 is the estate model that you see pictured here. Starting from £32,555 here in the UK for the S90, and this estate is £2,000 more expensive at £34,555. A range of diesel engines, 2-litre diesel just in the UK, and interestingly, as part of Volvo's downsizing policy, or really to lower emissions and enhance fuel economy, there are no 6-cylinder engines available, just 4-cylinder, and there is a hybrid engine to come as well. So the car you see here is 2-litre diesel model, acclaimed 60 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions as low as 119 grams per kilometre. Now the interesting thing is, with this new V90, I think it will be the best looking estate car on the market. If you remember the Volvos of the 1980s or early 90s, they very much seemed to be designed with a ruler, all straight edges, and certainly no aerodynamic efficiency. The aerodynamics of a brick, the joke was. But this car really embraces curves. It's very sleek looking and certainly ultra modern in its design. Just take you through some of the features. We've got these lovely new LED headlamps, which is part of Volvo's new design language. You've got this lovely chrome grille here, which in this particular case illustrates that the car is an inscription model. That's the top of the range, if you like. The entry-level model is called Momentum. And because this is top of the range, it has all the bells and whistles on it, and that's why it's up at £46,000. But it's really, really an attractive car to look at. If we note down the side profile, we've got a nice chrome strip at the bottom of the doors. And we go around to the rear. Volvo have retained their trademark lights, which go up the side next to the rear screen. We've just got a little bit more of a light cluster now, which incorporates LED lights. But a really, really attractive car. And as I say, in the flesh it looks certainly very sleek indeed. So it's good from the outside, but what's really special about this car is the interior. And what's certainly really nice to see is that Volvo have embraced their Swedish/Scandinavian origins to create such a lovely interior ambience with this car. So let's go and have a look inside and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Inside this new Volvo V90, things get even better. There is a really nice interior ambience with this car. It's meant to evoke memories of a Scandinavian loft apartment, which is why in this particular example you get a huge panoramic glass roof. The product manager for Volvo told us that for Scandinavians light is so important, especially in because they don't have an awful lot in the dark months of the winter. So really they always want to embrace it whenever they can, which is why this Volvo makes a huge deal of having such big glass areas. So it's very, very light and airy inside. Other nice touches, the leather is buttery soft. Lovely nice stitch work here, but it's super comfortable to sit in, and as soon as you open the door you get a really nice smell of leather, so it feels justifiably expensive in here as well. And there's some lovely, if I just take you to the door card, the woodwork, for example, it's not glossed, it retains its natural rough texture, if you like. And that's really, again, to link it with the design work that you get with Scandinavian home furniture. And it just integrates beautifully here with the the chrome highlights with the door pull and the speakers. So it really, it's a cliche to say, but it's such a lovely place to spend time. Super comfortable, and as I say, a really nice ambience as well. So sat here in the driver's seat, and first things first, you have a really nice steering wheel. Not too big, not too small, not too thick as well, which is nice. And because it's got this lovely leather, it's really nice to hold in the hand. The dashboard is a digitally rendered TFT screen. So you've got twin dials there, speedometer, rev counter, and in the centre you've got helpfully the satellite navigation instructions, saving you from having to take your eyes off the road. There is a head-up display available with these new Volvo V90 S90 models, but alas, this test car does not have it featured, so I cannot show you that. What I can show you, which is standard for all of them, is the central touchscreen which controls your interaction with the car. It's more, more advanced than other touchscreens that I've encountered, in the same way that you can, if we go back to the home screen, and for example you can swipe left and right, which works really well. You can download a variety of different apps. There's an app which means you can be connected to your car remotely, so you can sound the horn, unlock the vehicle, check the vehicle trip computer as well to know if you've got enough fuel, etc., which is useful. If we just go back to show you the navigation, maximize the display, and because it's a really big portrait view, you get a nice big screen size, and the mapping is done in 3D and can automatically update as well. Just to show you some of the interactions. So for example, if we want to put on the climate control, how do we do that? That's annoying. Oh, it probably won't do it because of the ignition. Bear with me, just turn the car on. So again, it works pretty intuitively as a system. The one thing I would say, as I've said many a time with touchscreens, is that I like them if they're responsive, but I would still prefer, let's say, a little dial here that you can operate your function with the car whilst on the move without having to prod and try and press whilst you're on the road. I don't think it's the safest thing in the world, although this does respond really well indeed. Let me just show you some of the apps. If we scroll to the right, you can download a variety of different apps. Spotify, for example, for your music. You can play your music from your phone account on Spotify, and then as soon as you get in the car, it will then sync and play the exact same song at the same point that you've just been listening to, which is great. There's also the option for Apple CarPlay, so it will replicate your iPhone as well by putting a lot of the display on the central touchscreen. If we go back again, the other thing that I wanted to show you was, for example, there are a variety of different apps that you can download. This one just showing you the weather app, and there's an inbuilt Wi-Fi system as well. Let's just accept that. Obviously this hasn't been used in the car before. Just let it do its job. But anyway, it utilises the car's inbuilt Wi-Fi to download data real time, which means the satellite navigation is always updated as well for traffic reports and any road closures. And there you go, you've got the weather as well. Looking back at the touchscreen for a moment, it offers the pinch pull zoom capability that we're all used to with our smartphones. So it's an advanced system. If, for example, we now go to set destination, city, you can type in the numbers and figures as you would do normally, or alternatively you can actually draw on what you'd like. So if we go B, let's try H, and then 8, So that works really well. Or alternatively, if we then close out of that, should take me back, yeah, okay, and if we go voice recognition, navigation.
Navigation. What would you like to do?
Set destination.
No results found. Say your house number, street and city.
London.
London set as final destination. Calculating route.
So that works really well as well. So you've got a variety of different input methods
Please
there.
take the third exit of the roundabout onto the 329.
And as I said to you earlier, again, it pops up the navigation instructions in front of you. So all very convenient and easy to use. Now, of course, the other thing that Volvo are well known for, and what's really, as a product manager described, is in their DNA, and that is safety. So there's a multitude of safety and convenience systems on this car, some of which I will show you when we take the car out shortly onto the road. But for example here, what's quite a nice feature is the BLIS, which is blind spot monitoring, essentially. So that's currently switched on, and if we then just flash over to the mirror, if you can just see, if I just zoom in, you've got a little, at the edge of the mirror, almost what looks like an eyebrow. Now that lights up when you've got a car alongside you that perhaps you can't see, which saves you from then turning in on him or her, which is a useful feature to have. Camera wise, you've got cameras all around the car, which can then compile together to give you a 360-degree bird's eye view. So really easy for parking. You've got some park assist items as well, which will park the car for you, and other great features like that. If we then go back to here, another nice little convenience feature, this headrest fold. So you can imagine if you're reversing and you want to use the old-fashioned way of actually looking out the back window, if I just flick round to the rear area, if I press the headrest fold now, you'll see that just clears the vision for you as you reverse park. You've also got road sign information, so that will display, if you see here when it focuses, that will display the prevailing speed limit. There we go. So that puts it on the central dashboard, so you can always know what the speed is at all times, which is really useful as well. And you've also got an advanced cruise control system, which I will show you when we go out on the road. But again, really, as I said before, such a lovely ambience in here. I mean, there's some really nice design features. If you look at the rear view mirror, it's just very thin, but it's just a nice, there's no horrible thick plastics around. It's just really nice, really nicely done. And then even down to the center console, you see the lovely wood grain here, really nice texture. And you've got some more storage here as well, and cup holders. Seeing this also, you've got some knurled metal finish to some of the buttons. This controls your driver mode. So flick back onto the central touchscreen in front of the driver, or rather the central touchscreen I should say, forgive me. You've got a variety of suspension modes there. Eco mode does what it says on the tin, with the emphasis on fuel economy, comfort, everyday use as it says there. But if you are, let's say, a keen driver, you might want to firm things up, so firm up the suspension, make the steering a bit more heavy, and the throttle response quicker. So a variety of different engine modes, suspension modes I should say, or drive modes as it says. So you can customize your driving experience as you see fit. I'll just take you into the back. I mean, the whole point of an estate is that it's got to be incredibly practical. So I'll take you into the back, show you some of the space, and importantly the boot space as well, and then we'll go out on the open road and see how the car drives. So as I just mentioned, inside the car, given an estate, it has to major on practicality. One area, just whilst I get out of the car, the key, which is again a nice design, A lot of manufacturers seem to neglect their keys, but this is a really nice design with the buttons there on the side, if you can see that. But it features keyless entry. So if I walk up to the car, again, key in the pocket, put my hand behind the door, and it opens like that. And then to close it, or to lock it rather, simply push on the button there. Now, taking you into the back seat, plenty of room there for three. I just sit in. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of room there. I'm 6 foot. So no complaints in terms of rear accommodation. The rear passengers are even fortunate enough to get their own climate control system there. So they will be suitably comfortable sat back here. Again, just giving you a view of the interior from the rear seats. You can see it's really smart design, and again, thanks to that roof, it feels incredibly airy and spacious in here. I'll just show you the boot and can discuss then the convenience and practicality of that. Around at the rear, the boot is electrically operated. Simply press the button on the key, and inside you have 560 litres of boot space, but you can push the seats forward, which extends it over to over 1500 litres. And the nice thing is actually here, if we open this, which is actually on hydraulics, you then have a flat storage space there as well under what's called a false floor. A bit more storage space therefore. Push that down, and then if you'll notice, when you press the button to close the boot, you'll notice that the parcel shelf moves backwards electrically as well. So all very convenient indeed. But let's go and take the car out, and I'll show you some of the technology you can have whilst on the move. So then, out on the road, the new Volvo V90, the driving experience can be summarised in one word, and that is relaxing. It's such a soothing and smooth, relaxed drive. And Volvo have wisely decided that they're not going to follow the Germans, the likes of BMW and Audi, which major on driving satisfaction, often at the process of a lack of ride comfort. What Volvo wanted to do was just make an incredibly relaxing and soothing car to drive, which they have done. The steering may not be the last word in feedback, but the steering does allow you to place the car nicely on the road, which makes for a confident drive, and you also get to grips with the car very quickly and easily as well. It's very quiet in here. The only slight disappointment actually is that the diesel engine is a little bit noisier and a little bit harsher than I would expect. It's a 4-cylinder unit, remember. Volvo deciding that 6 cylinders are not the way forward, in keeping with their low emissions, high economy mantra. They decided 4-cylinder is best, and it's certainly, there's no shortage of torque or pulling power. It's just a little bit noisy when revved. Now, aside from the very smooth driving experience, other areas where Volvo are famous for, as I said earlier, safety. So there's a multitude of automated safety systems on the car. It's constantly scanning the road. If, for example, it encounters an object, or as Volvo would say, a large animal, which is a problem with elks and the like in Sweden, it will automatically apply the brakes and apply maximum braking force. And also in town centre driving, for example, if, worst case scenario, there's a pedestrian in the road, again, maximum braking force is applied as well. Now, one thing I did want to show you out on the open road is Pilot Assist, which is an advanced cruise control system. Now, we're on a dual carriageway at the minute, and if I apply the button, the car not only will apply the accelerator and brake to maintain my speed, or the speed that I set, but it also will do the steering as well. So I can only just demonstrate this quickly, but the car is now steering itself and maintaining the distance to the car in front as well. which would make commuting so easy, and it's all part of this step towards autonomous cars that we're slowly drifting towards. It's not quite advanced as the Tesla system, so you have to still change lanes manually, whereas the Tesla will change for you, but it just really, you know, I've got no feet on the pedals here, I'm holding the steering wheel only slightly, and the car is steering for me, keeping me dead center in the middle of the lane. So whilst the car does its thing now of taking me along this dual carriageway, I can tell you that one of the benefits, of course, with having 4-cylinder diesel engines rather than 6-cylinder is that you gain improvements in fuel economy and efficiency. So CO2 emissions, as I said, 119 grams per kilometre, and a claimed fuel consumption of 60 miles to the gallon. I think out in the real world, expect late 40s. But of course, when you've got this pilot assist on, then the car is essentially driving in a very efficient way, and therefore you can maximise your fuel economy on the morning commute. And finally, just linked to that relaxing driving experience, special mention must go to the Bowers & Wilkins stereo system in this car, because it is fabulous. If you'll pick this up, actually.
Yes, they're looking around, and
it's not very good actually without music, but it's such a good system. So really, if you're serious about the new V90 or S90 and you're into your music, really specify the Bowers & Wilkins system, because it is fab. So there you have a video review on Volvo's new V90. There is, of course, a full written review on the V90 and the S90 on our website, the link to which is posted in the description below. If you have any questions, put them in the comments box, and as always, thank you for watching, and I shall see you soon.